wealthy multi-millionaire in Australia decided to throw a lavish party and invited all his friends and neighbors. Among them was Brian, the only native Australian living on the street. The party was held around the large pool behind the millionaire's mansion. Music was playing, drinks were flowing, and guests were laughing, dancing, and flirting while eating prawns and oysters from the barbecue. At the height of the celebration, the millionaire stood up and announced, "I've got a 15-foot man-eating crocodile in my pool. I'll give $1 million to anyone brave enough to jump in." He had barely finished speaking when there was a huge splash. Everyone turned to see Brian in the water, wrestling the crocodile. He gouged at its eyes, punched it, headbutted it, put it in chokeholds, bit its tail, and tossed it around like some martial arts master. The pool erupted into chaos, water thrashing, guests screaming, the crocodile roaring. After what felt like an eternity, Brian managed to strangle the beast. The crocodile floated to the surface like a lifeless goldfish. Exhausted, Brian hauled himself out of the pool while everyone watched in stunned silence. The millionaire finally stammered, "Well, Brian, I suppose I owe you $1 million. "No, mate," Brian gasped. "I don't want it." Shocked, the millionaire tried again. "Then let me give you something. $500,000? No thanks." "All right, a Porsche, a Rolex, stock options, something." "I insist." Brian shook his head. "No." Completely baffled, the millionaire said, "Then what do you want?" Brian glared back and replied, "I want the bastard who pushed me in." A farmer stops by the local mechanic's shop to get his old truck repaired. The mechanics suspect a transmission problem and tell him it'll take some time, long enough that he can't wait around. The farmer shrugs and decides to walk home. He doesn't live far. On the way, he stops at the hardware store and buys a bucket and a gallon of paint. Then he heads to the feed store where he buys 2 chickens and a pig. Loaded down with his purchases, he steps outside and realizes he has a dilemma. How is he going to carry everything home? As he stands there scratching his head, a little old lady approaches him. She looks a bit lost and asks, "Can you tell me how to get to 1755 Maple Street?" The farmer perks up. "Well, my farm is very close to that address. I'd walk you there, but as you can see, I've got a bit of a problem figuring out how to carry all this." The old woman is quick with a solution. "Why don't you put the paint can in the bucket, carry the bucket in one hand, tuck the pig under your other arm, and hold the chickens by their legs?" The farmer's face lights up. "Why, thank you. That'll work perfectly." They start down the road together. After a while, the farmer says, "Let's take my usual shortcut through this alley. We'll get there much faster." The little old lady immediately stops and eyes him suspiciously. "I'm a widow, all alone. How do I know that once we're in that alley, you won't take advantage of me?" The farmer throws up his hands. "Good grief, lady. I'm carrying a bucket, a gallon of paint, 2 chickens, and a pig. How could I possibly do that?" The old woman points at his bundle and calmly replies, "Set the pig down, put the bucket over him, place the paint can on top, and I'll hold the chickens."